graph and network theory diagrams explained. Now, graph and network theories are the foundation of the design and function of social networks. Essentially, we use these diagrams in this course of enterprise computing to plan out the actual where certain influential parts of our network are when on social networks, and in hopes of really leveraging the potential of accessing certain platforms or users or influencers for expanding our business within our enterprise. These mathematical frameworks help model the relationships, distribution, clusters, and interactions in a structured way, enabling various features and functionalities within social platforms. So essentially, we want these features and functionalities to be effective if we're going to adopt them as a part of our enterprise. And in most cases, social platforms, we're accessing them through a third party. Facebook, YouTube, X, all of that. So we do want to make sure that we really use them in an effective way. The combination of graph and network theory can support the framework and the expansion of networks, significantly influencing the success and persuasiveness of social networking in today's digital society. Because essentially, as we know, a lot of business is done online now. Our websites and our social media pages, they're our storefront, the way we can get customers into our business, buying our products and using our services. So we do want to maximize our usage of social networkings. And obviously, these graph and network theory diagrams, they're a tool for us to use in planning and as well as evaluating our usage of them. So let's firstly get into these symbols. So there are really two main symbols used in these types of diagrams. The first one is that of a node or vertex. It is an individual, platform, page, or some sort of category, okay, that is used within the social network. Its size will indicate the potential impact the specific vertex or data set has on the overall network. Because what this diagram is going to look like is a web of these circles. And the bigger the circle, the bigger the impact or influence it has. So it could be that we're thinking of a number of different users within a social network. Well, the user with the most connections and the most influence that people look and gets the most insights because people view their posts, well, that circle will be bigger than the average user who doesn't really make any post. Okay, they really only see the post from the more influential users. So our circles will be different sizes, and there is a mathematical ways of looking at the sizes of circles, but we're not going to get into that in this video because I'm not even sure if it's a requirement of the enterprise computing course just yet. Really, I want to simplify things and try to make it more digestible for you to understand how these diagrams work. The second symbol used is that of an edge. Okay, these are the paths and connections within the graph, establishing relationships between nodes. Okay, edges can be directed or undirected. So essentially, these lines join entities that have relationships. So our nodes are connected by edges, and it could be just if two people are friends on a social media platform, there'll be a line connecting them. Now, as I just wrote there, we have two different classifications of edges. We have an undirected edge, which has no arrowhead, which means data can flow in both directions on each side of the edge. So that could mean two users can send data to each other. And then we have a directed edge, where you clearly see an arrowhead, which means data specifically flows in one direction. And that could be a platform specifically broadcasting out to users, but users can't respond. Now, as said, it is for the enterprise computing course that I'm looking at developing this video for. And I've noticed by the course specifications at this point that they're not really using directed edges in the sample that I saw. So it's good for you to know what it is right now, but I'm not sure that it is going to be used within the course. So right now, I'm just going to pop it out for a second and highlight that with the undirected edges, that when we do make a connection between two nodes, we also write the relationship between those two nodes. So if it is two friends on social media, on the line, it's going to say friends. Okay, and that lets us know that these two people are friends, and that line highlights that relationship. So they are the two main symbols we're using, the nodes and the edges. So let's get into a sample diagram now. So the following diagram represents the potential spread of a video post made by a user through three major social media platforms, estimating the potential viewership the post will receive based on pre-existing user connections, how much friends or subscribers they have on the platform. And obviously, the more they have, the bigger circle they will be. Okay, and obviously what they do, okay, is they post things through their streams and pages. So we're looking at the social media platforms, but in the context of their relevant streams and pages. So let's do this. So firstly, we've got this individual user. and they are going to make a video post as the scenario just suggested. Now, if they're making a video post, the first place they might post it is to YouTube. YouTube is a platform, that's their relationship to YouTube. And we're referring to YouTube as their specific YouTube stream, their YouTube channel. Their YouTube channel has a number of subscribers. And here you can see I've done three big circles, and those three big circles represent 3,000 subscribers. All right, they are large because each circle I've got representing 8,000 subscribers, and that's quite a lot of subscribers, I believe. So their YouTube channel has a lot of influence because it has the potential for that YouTube video that they post to reach 3,000 people. And then we would think beyond that, the potential of sharing that and going onwards and going beyond 3,000 views. The next social media platform we'll look at is that of Facebook. Now, Facebook is also a social media platform, and on their Facebook page, they have 300 followers. You can clearly see here that I've made their followers circles slightly smaller, representing 100 followers each. Okay, so we can clearly see the difference in size of circles. So if they pushed out on their Facebook page, they will only reach 300 potential users, whereas YouTube clearly shows they'll reach more users that way. But obviously, they'd probably go both because they want to maximize their audience in this way. Now, the third actual platform we'll look at is that of Instagram. Now, one thing I'll highlight too is Instagram and Facebook are connected through Meta. So they can actually push a post out through one or the other, and they can actually share it across both platforms with ease. So it's important to note that detection of that relationship there. Okay, and you also can see that I've got all three platforms as large circles because all three of them are very influential. Now, with Instagram, the user might be new to Instagram, so they don't have many followers on Instagram just yet. So they have 40 followers, the smallest circles reflecting that they've only really got 10 for each of those symbols there. So not as effective, but hopefully they'll grow on Instagram here. So you can see that this web has formed. Okay, and we can clearly see where this user is more influential, where they are less influential. They can see areas for potential of growth, but they can also see where their post will be maximized if they do send it out in that area. Now, we're going to expand this just slightly now. So we are trying to relate this to the course of enterprise computing. And if you've ever looked at one of these diagrams, they do get a lot more complex. So I do want to kind of illustrate how it can get more complex without getting too mathematical or intricate in it. So let's say that the user isn't the source of our post anymore. Let's change it so that we're actually going to say that this user is actually posting something on behalf of an enterprise. And so the enterprise is generating the post, and they know that this user has influence on their social media platforms. They have their own YouTube page, Facebook page, and Instagram page, and they want them to share their post out to the community. So they access this user. But what they are also going to likely do is access other potential employees or influencers to share their posts as well. And this is where you can start to see these diagrams becoming this network. The three users they've accessed, they all have their own Facebook page, their own YouTube channel, and their own Instagram feeds, which they are leveraging to share these posts. And then their viewers might also have connections with each other there. So this is how you start seeing these graph and network theory diagrams start to look like this web, when you can see networks forming together, but you can also identify the clusters within the network where you can see communities being formed there. So what we'll say is, what are the advantages of using this graph and network theory? Well, firstly, we're visualizing the relationships and structures. You can clearly see the three distinct parts of users and the influences of their channels, and obviously where the bigger circles are and the bigger communities are. It's allowing us to analyze a potentially complex system. We can see relationships, how data could potentially be distributed, clusters of groups, and how different groups are interacting there. Okay, that can be identified through looking at the nodes and edges and where they are connected. And then finally, it supports enterprises with their decision-making processes. They might not be able to access all three of these people. They might not want to pay all three of these people. So they might choose who has the best following on a specific platform they want to use. And if they were going to go with potentially putting their video post out through YouTube, then they'll access the initial user that we just looked at on the previous slide because we saw they had a big YouTube influence. So I hope this video has just given you a bit of a basic understanding of these diagrams. I know I haven't gone into any of the mathematical element related to these diagrams, but just kind of how its logic works, and hopefully made the concepts of these diagrams easier for you to digest and build your confidence in attempting these diagrams. Okay, so hope this has helped you with your understanding of graph and network theory diagrams.